Bloodline? Because the other problem is that this game's always been really good about accounting for, like, accessibility. So, like, if somebody doesn't have their voice acting turned up, they just miss that. But, like, also, there's a lot of people that, like, play this game because it's so good at accessibility. I know it really frustrated people who like the Japanese voice acting because they feel it's a pure interpretation of what the writers wanted. And then in Endwalker, there's a major scene where the voice acting happens off screen and it's not displayed. And so there's a moment where you're standing in Elpis and this beast is running at you and they say something. And if you are somebody who listens to this game in Japanese as this kind of purist, you just miss that. Like, that's your big reward for being a purist. I do think at this point the localization teams are worldwide enough that there is a logic to saying the English version is just as well crafted and selected. But I understand why people think that, you know, hey, it's a Japanese writer that's overseeing the Japanese voice acting selection, and I would like to see what they think. Because Yoshi P has said he doesn't even like to be present at the recording sessions for the voice acting because he doesn't want to put undue pressure on somebody thinking, like, well, what's his opinion? Because he really wants, like, the writer, if anybody's going to be impressing on it, it should be, that's not the audio team. Like, it should be the writer that's there saying, that's not quite what I had in mind. In regards to her grandfather. Oh. Kryle's grandfather. All right. Now we're here. No longer voice acted. Hell's take the Black Wolf and his new toy. Rally all available forces. I want them ready to move upon my word. And relay to Slafirson to order to sail. That is all. I like that they voice acted all the high-voiced people, and then we moved to, like, a deeper register, and none of this is voice acted. The Maelstrom stands ready. What of the flames? Ready as we're like to be. I need only give the word to Roal. Oh, there you go. Has there been no word from Ishgard? None. The dragons have got their tongues. Silent to the last. I was unwise to hope for better. That would stir the Archbishop to open his holy mouth, if not this. And he claims the fury for his god. 'Tis bad comedy. The Holy See has made its choice, and we will proceed without its cooperation. I believe we are all acquainted with the terms of the Black Wolf's ultimatum. We must agree upon a course of action, not less than the fate of Eorzea hangs upon the decision of this council. Van Belsar claims to wield the power to smite primals. Should we yield to him, he pledges to rid the realm of its false gods, yet offer resistance, and he swears that we shall share the primal's fate. Pardon my bluntness, but I like not these choices. This is too great a decision for any one of our nations to make alone. Choose we surrender or resistance, we must answer as one. But if for but one surrenders, the rest shall surely fall. Let us pray for the wisdom to do right by all our peoples. Cool. Does the inn have every single voice acted scene? I will say, like, subtitled shows oftentimes convey more tone than dubbed shows. Because a lot of times dubs, like, especially like Netflix dubs, where they're using like the same voices. If you watch a lot of Netflix dubs, you get to know the voices because it's the same people. Like it's a different actor, but it's the same voice as like a different show because they've got this set of voice actors that work for whatever studio Netflix employs. Netflix may own that studio, or they may just contract to the same studio a lot. But if you watch a lot of Netflix dubs, there starts to be like repeat voices, even though the actor is very different looking. The same voice comes out of their mouth, and you lose a lot of that intensity because the goal is to communicate. So they're enunciating, they're talking very like, and the actual voice actor, because they're like so much of communication is nonverbal, they can be really slang. They can throw words. They can mumble a bit. They can talk very fast, as long as the intensity's there. And the dub will kind of will slow it down and just say, you know, it kind of depends on how good your native voice actor is. Like, just to read some text here. The tone of the voice makes a huge difference, and you don't need to understand the language to pick it up. Where there's this, like, clear and succinct, like, word. And so listening to the original while reading gives you the chance to catch every single word, including words that maybe get lost. Especially if you're somebody who like doesn't speak that version of that language. If you watch like Dairy Girls on Netflix, which is based in like Ireland, right? So it's got some really thick UK style accents mixed across it, depending on where the character is from, because they pull from more than just Ireland there. And they're meant to mimic the accents and the language of a time, because it's meant to be back, right? It's back in time. It's not taking place in modern day. And so, but if you listen to that as like an American who has an American accent like me, you don't always know what they're saying. And so subtitles help communicate that. But now, remove that it even resembles my language. Go put it just in Japanese. All they're conveying is tone. So if you ever watch like anime, you can hear them shout, you can hear them be angry and sad, and then you clearly get all the words with every bit as much accuracy as if you were reading a book, right there on the screen. And it helps because you're reading, which means you're not looking. So even if the artist or if there's an actor has perfect facial expressions, because you're reading, you're not looking at the face. So like I think that the native voice acting really helps. So if you're somebody who has to read a lot in this game, I think voice acting conveys a lot of tone. And so if some of the voice actors are better than others, I do understand why people do it. I just tend to pick my language when it's available. Netflix dubs are all over the place in quality because Netflix puts out such quantity. Like the amount of things that are available and the amount of dubs is nuts. My sister, who just got back, they're back safely, by the way, to update everybody. They texted last night. They texted a picture. That's them in my parents' living room with my mom and their dogs and my niece. And so they are safely back here in DFW and all as well. They want to maintain their command of Romanian and Hungarian because those are the languages that they've learned to speak over living in Eastern Europe for this many years. And to do that, one of the ways they can do that is they can watch shows that have Romanian and Hungarian dubs. Shows that are available in English. So they've been watching Bones because Bones comes with a dub for, I don't remember if it's Romanian or Hungarian. I assume Romanian. And so that's a chance to kind of maintain that language. So like dubs offer a chance to consume something in another language. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's good. I would love to learn Japanese, and if I start being able to set aside time each week to start getting better at that so that I can pick up basics in live letters and things like that, one of the best ways to do that is immersion. And since I can't go to Japan, and I don't have a lot of like Japanese friends, the best way to do that, alongside a Rosetta Stone, Duolingo, whatever, Babbel, whatever service you want to use, or classes, is to consume things. So a friend of mine who manages businesses in Central and South America, the way he maintains his Spanish outside of work, he's fluent, so he's not taking classes anymore, is he listens to Spanish radio, because we live here in Texas. There's a lot of Spanish radio stations available. So he's got his choice of styles of music and things like that. And so it would be best if I started consuming anime, or I started listening to, if this game was fully voice acted, listening to it in Japanese, it wouldn't be that helpful because we get so little voice acting. But I do think that, like, getting to know Japanese, like, that is how you do that. So it's not uncommon. When I studied abroad, a lot of people I met that were not taught English in school, which was usually from various countries, is only like in like private schools or nicer schools. It's an optional language in many parts of the world that's encouraged but not required. And so when I meet a lot of people who maybe didn't grow up with that level of access to education, a lot of the ways they learned to kind of fix their accent or certain words or slang was because they consume our pop culture. And so in like the people that I have met around the world, it's not uncommon for them to know our movies and know our TV because that's how they were consuming English regularly. The amount of content that Hollywood puts out is large. And so it's not uncommon for them to consume that in Hollywood's native language, which is English. I mean, there's only a handful of like major places that put out a ton of movies each year. Obviously, Hollywood being one of them, Bollywood being another one, and then like South Korea puts out a ton of stuff. So there's, there are other ones. There's movie companies in countries all over the world, but those are kind of the big three that show up in my feed. Is Korean-based companies, Indian-based companies, and and I get others, right? Like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is one that I rewatched recently, and like that's put out in Swedish. I don't remember what the native is, and like the dub is not good. I can't watch it with the dub, so I would rather watch it subtitled and get the original language. It's way better. I don't know. It's an interesting topic that we've been derailed by here as we rapidly approach the end of it. Escape of Castrum Sentry. So, I think from here on out, it's just Castrum, right? I don't know this story well, so I'm being surprised, but like I know a little bit because I've done Castrum Latore and I've done my MSQ roulette a billion times, and that's unskippable cutscenes. So, I don't know how much time we have until we get into those. And then we start to get into patch content. I'm not going to know that at all. And when we get into Heaven's Word, I'm utterly lost. I tried to pay attention a little bit at the beginning of Heaven's Word, but because I'd skipped ARR back then, there was just no way. Yeah, and we'll have to do Cape Westwind, which is no longer a trial as of next Tuesday. So I am filming this on Thursday, April 7th here, and so we are down to days to go until this content, and Praetorium's going to get broken into parts. Very exciting. All the dungeons at this point, like Aram Vale and stuff, that stuff's all optional. So like, I don't know that there's any more dungeons. I think I'm done with dungeons. I think it's all Trial, Castrum, and Praetorium, which are not real dungeons. Here we go. Thancred's plight troubles us all, yet we cannot allow anything to come between us and our goal. So long as Ultima weapon exists, Eorzea will never know peace. Let us go to the Alliance leaders, Media, and help them to make right our decision. Also to expose that many of us have the same voices as each other, but it doesn't show up because we're never in the same room. No problem, Menphilia. Oh! More Vesper Bay Aetheryte tickets. Are we going to have to pray return a 13th time? Grim tidings, Meteor. It seems the word of Ultima Weapon's existence has already reached the Alliance leaders in the form of an ultimatum. They have gathered in the Fragrant Chamber and are deliberating their answer even as we speak. Beleaguered as they are, I fear they may as well elect to lay down their arms in belief that surrender will spare their people untold suffering.
Yet nothing could be further from the truth. That which Black Wolf offers will do, Meorzia, not deliver it. And the leaders must be made aware of this. Let us hurry to them, Meteor, and ensure that they do not act in ignorance of the consequences.
I will tell you that if a room is called the Fragrant Chamber, it seems like you're going to get a headache. I don't know for sure.
Do you wish to be able to step over that gate there, sir?
Yeah. I've got plenty of tickets left. I've only been using them when I absolutely had to. So I got plenty. I got 10 on me. They give you way too many, which is awesome. Ruby Road, please. Cool. Yeah, they give you the ability to, like, go there and then realize you don't want to go there, or, like, maybe you want to go play something with a friend and then you log out, and then you realize, oh crap, I need to go back to Waking Sands. Like, they're very generous. Chamber of Rule? Did I not? I went to the wrong one. It's okay. If you use one every time they tell you to pray return, you'll have like 2 extra. Oh, so far, not even close. I don't think I need to be in this armor anymore, but I haven't had a reason to change yet. Man, I am lost. If I don't have the Aetherites attuned, I just never know how to get around this area. I didn't back then either. Okay. Do I have this one? I just want to grab it. If not, lick this crystal. Yes. I'm missing... Oh, I do have Chamber of Rule. Oh, beautiful. Let's do that then. Okay. I know I'm missing some of them. And I never had a reason to learn this city because the Ethernet's just way better. It's way better.
What business would Her Grace have with the likes of you? Most of us wear pants, good sir.
You will watch your tongue whilst in the royal promenade, you pantsless beast. You all gonna talk trash? No? Just the 2 up front, okay. Huh? Yeah, the crafting quests make you run around a lot. Alright, Bartholomew Broski here. The Council of the Alliance Leaders is presently in progress in the Fragrant Chamber. I must ask that you step away from the door, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. You're here on behalf of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn? 1,000 pardons, my pantsless lord. Of course you may enter. Cool. Blonde goatees, super weird. Even blonde people don't get blonde goatees.
Treading the same ground.
Van Belsar's demands are clear.
Alas, our minds are not.
I've never been one to shy from a fight, but if this weapon of theirs can do all they claim...
It has been 5 years since the calamity, and our people have scarce begun to rebuild their lives. Can we now, in good conscience, call upon them to risk what little they have left? I would spare them the pain of further conflict. Conflict, I say, though that would imply forces set in opposition. If the combined might of 3 primals could not stay Garlemald's new terror, what meaningful resistance can we offer? We who struggle to quell the foes who rise up within our own borders.
Long have we fought the primals, but to what end? We strike them down at no small cost, only for them to rise again and again. Are we to play this profitless game for the rest of days? I, for one, grow tired of it. Mistake me not. I do not propose to trade one tyranny for another. I love liberty. But conciliation need not mean oppression.
By the 12, though neither of you cried surrender, your every word betokened it. Not that I deny there is truth in what you say, nor can I rightly claim that Ul'dah is ready to fight. Refugees flood our gates, and beastmen swarm our land, while the great and the good do nothing. My flames struggle to bear the burden. I put on a grand show at the Remembrance Service, made all manner of lofty promises. I've made good on not a bloody one.
Do not blame yourself, Raoban. You said only that which the people needed to hear. All present have done the same. Our citizens had become lost to hope. If our words serve to kindle it in them anew, better we speak than remain silent. Our enemy condemns us for failing our people. Yet what does he care for their well-being? While we labored to rebuild their lives, the Black Wolf built instruments of murder with which to end them.
Her Majesty speaks true. For all our failings, the people's well-being has ever been our foremost priority. While none among us ever doubted that the Empire would one day resume its war, we scarcely had means enough to solve the problems of the present.
Aye, which is why we look to others to safeguard our future. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Alas, they are gone, and the Black Wolf is at our door.
Admiral! I fear you are mistaken.
Alphinaud, Minfilia, and seven hells! Master Garland?
And you, dear friend.
By Ralga, you're alive. All of you.
As we approached, I would swear I heard talk of surrender. But I know that cannot be. It is not the Eorzean way.
Hear me, my friends. Accepting the Garlean's offer to vanquish the Primals would be folly. Folly, I say. For might is not the answer to the Primal threat. Indeed, the more the Empire exerts its strength, the worse matters will become. Primals enter this world when mortals call upon them, and mortals are wont to appeal to a higher power when they are desperate. Nothing is more certain to breed desperation in the beast tribes than the Garlean's proposed solution.
The true answer lies in a lasting peace. But the Garleans only know war and conquest. Should Eorzea fall into their hands, there will be such suffering as none can imagine.
We are not blind to the many challenges that each of your nations face. Yet you must not give in.
Aye. Remember 5 years ago when you wagered all for the sake of the realm? Remember what you fought for, what you were willing to die for. Let the memories rekindle the fire in your heart, for Eorzea has need of it again.
Come what may, we Scions will never give up the fight. And so I bid you stand with us, and together we shall safeguard the future of the realm.
A great man once said that a shrewd merchant grasps not for the quick profit, but invests in the future. Wise words, eh, Raoban?
Sid,
Your words stir and shame me in equal measure. How could I contemplate surrender? I know full well that all we have, we owe to the sacrifices of those who went before us. Yet the seeming hopelessness of our plight robbed me of my insight. We Gridanians have no love for war. Yet we have still less for those who would threaten our homeland. Ever have we fought to protect those things we hold dear, and this shall never change.
You should ask the Lancers who's poisoning your trees.
Gridania will go to war. We will fight the Empire for the sake of the realm and all who abide here.
You laugh like a maniac. Bloodshed! Bloodshed!
At long last, I hear words worthy of a founder of the Alliance. Raoban, are we to be outdone?
We can sacrifice way more people!
I lost one homeland. The thought of losing another had blunted my resolve. But no man knows better than I that if you want aught, you'd best be ready to die for it. With great danger comes the chance for great glory and great profit. We Uldans who have turned sand into gold know this well. How many times have we fallen into the pit of despair, only to have you pluck us out? I've fair lost count.
Reckless, the lot of you, like bloody pirates. Well, I won't waste my breath trying to talk you round, on account of being a pirate myself. And the pirate who shrinks from a challenge is no pirate at all. Those who would pick a quarrel with us must choose. Back down, or go down with all hands. Let the Garleans come. The united strength of Limsa Lominsa will be waiting for them.
If our realm is to be free of this pall of darkness, let it be by our own hands.
For Eorzea!
We must needs consider how the weapon may be brought to bear against us.
The Maelstrom will secure strategic points along the coastline.
In the meantime, the flames will deploy at...
Be at ease, my friends. You have banished our doubts. Pray leave the military matters to us, and retire to the waking sands. We will send word anon.
Fascinating. Alright. Pray return. Pray return. I am getting much closer. Who is this guy, by the way? Can I interact with this? No? I mean, it's clearly like an Uldan Sultanate person, but do we know exactly who that is? That's Lolorito? I wish I could read this. Alright. To the Waking Sands. Our pantsless hero continues.